So, you still think that the EU funding is a world on its own? You still think innovation in Europe is not political, right? Okay, so in this episode, we'll see the role of Europe's innovation in the future of the world, maybe in the survival of the world. We'll have a talk with David Balbi from Agricultura 2.0 from Italy, and we'll discuss cutting-edge solutions for food production, clean energy, mostly food production. It's a great example of how continued investment in innovation can actually change the world. Because the world will change, whether we want it or not. We can see in the context of digital transition, we all knew there was a transition going on. We never expected, or most of us didn't expect, that this would lead tech oligarchs to take over the world and rule it on their own rules. So, does that matter to you? Well, let's discuss that. We'll also take a look at the custom GPT I designed for you to help you get EU funding. We'll take a look at that, and we'll finally make an analysis of an open call, an AMIF call, supporting essential awareness campaigns in migration policy, because social innovation matters too, okay? So, innovation is the key for Europe's future. Believe that? I believe that. EU-funded projects have never been more important, more crucial, and if you're working on something transformative, this episode is for you. So, let's start. When you heard the first speeches about the digital transition, did you imagine that this would actually change the political landscape? Did you think that the tech billionaires, the tech bros taking over power is something that will not affect your life? Well, think again, because actually the way big tech, the way these major platforms control how we work, what we see, what we buy, even what we believe. This changes everything. And if they continue to gain political power, well, history tells us what can happen next. We've seen that before, witnessing the rise of a new ruling class. You can say that, new oligarchy, whatever you want to call them. Because you know that social media platforms actually decide which voices are heard and which voices are not. The AI algorithms influence prevailing narratives, and all this is done through private companies which handle this essential infrastructure, from cloud storage to digital payments, everything. They're doing this for more than business, also for power. And here's the dangerous part. We've seen that before, as I said earlier. We've seen when economic elites gain unchecked power, they always try to control government. It happened in the early 20th century. What were then called the robber barons. Robber had a bad reputation. They dominated entire industries, and they actually used their economic power to try to kill competition by manipulating governments. They financed and backed authoritarian leaders. Yeah, well, back then also, because they knew these would protect their monopolies, and they tried to shape public opinion through media control of the media of the days. And we know how that ended. Today we are seeing kind of the same playbook repeating itself, only now it's digital. We've seen big tech consolidating wealth, capturing the regulatory bodies or firing them altogether, and allowing to rewrite the rules in their own favor. So It is at this crossroads that you are trying to get funding for your innovation project. Well, EU has a last chance, let's say it this way, to push back against this growing dominance of big tech. It's not a question just about regulation. It's also a question about getting results and really creating innovation. Because if monopolies succeed in controlling the markets, AI, cloud computing, digital services, if they succeed in controlling all of that, European startups will never compete, won't stand a chance. And if big tech dictates the political policies, EU funding could shift away from real innovation and protecting the present monopolies. So if we don't act, and by acting I mean getting results from the large funds that are being invested in these EU-funded projects, if we don't get results, we risk a future where only a few corporations decide the future, Europe and worldwide. That's why EU-funded projects are more important than ever, in my opinion. These are publicly funded alternatives to the tech monopolies, even though many of those tech monopolies actually were built with taxpayer money as also. So we need European innovation to stay independent, and we need a system where research, innovation, progress benefits society and not just a handful of billionaires who want to become trillionaires. And what's next? I don't know. No, I don't know. I won't risk it. So nowadays, big tech is doing more than just building apps. It's actually rewriting the rules of power. And we have to take this transition very seriously. So we might, if we don't, we might wake up in a world where democracy is just an illusion and a few tech bros dictate our future. So that's my opinion. I would love to hear yours in the comments.
So, what if you could see your proposal through the eyes of an evaluator before you submit? Meet Smart Proposal AI, an advanced GPT trained in EU funding rules to help you refine your application like a pro. Unlike generic tools, Smart Proposal AI uses the same guidelines provided to real evaluators as well as the actual scoring criteria, specific for your call, ensuring your proposal meets official funding criteria. It evaluates your proposal just like a real reviewer, pinpointing gaps and areas for improvement based on actual scoring frameworks. But that's not all. You can train Smart Proposal AI with your past applications, along with the respective evaluation report, evaluators' guidelines, and scoring criteria. This means your AI gets smarter over time, adapting to your unique writing style, past mistakes, and funding priorities. Every funding call is different, and every applicant has unique strengths. Smart Proposal AI learns from you, becoming your personalized funding expert. Smart Proposal AI will give you specific suggestions to improve your proposal in all scoring criteria and also in writing clarity. Watch your proposal transform from good to outstanding, tailored to the exact expectations of EU evaluators. Say goodbye to uncertainty. Say hello to clear, expert-driven insights to boost your success rate. With Smart Proposal AI, you submit with confidence, knowing your application meets the highest standards. Why gamble with your funding chances? Train your GPT Smart Proposal AI today and gain a real competitive edge.
So, welcome everyone to InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles. Today we have with us Davide Balbi. He's talking with us from Italy, and we're going to talk about agriculture 2.0. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive into agriculture, please, David.
Hello, Fernando. Thank you for the interview. I'm passionate about technology. I'm passionate about green business. I like straight things that that are good for nature. First time that I saw a little photovoltaic cell out of a game in the early 70s, in the late 70s, I asked my parents how come we would pay the bill instead of producing electricity from sun, and they were like, they would not know what to reply. So when I saw for the first time, when I saw the green business in the photovoltaic era in the late decade of this century, I become an entrepreneur in the photovoltaic business. So I like to do things that are good for nature.
Okay, and from there, how did you get to agriculture?
That's a good question. A certain moment, the European Union and the governments around Europe decided to turn off in the first beginning of the second decade, 2013. They started the help to photovoltaic got turned off. So we decided to do something different from photovoltaic. And we read a call from the PTP Science Park, and the call would ask for projects that would deliver food sovereignty, food security, low carbon footprint, and short chain. While I was reading the call, I was like, I have this. Like when I was a little kid playing with little stickers for soccer teams. And I started writing the project and I submitted. So we got incubated. We sold the first ecosystem in 2015. With the old company, we constituted this company in 2016, and we started trying to make the difference, studying the market and understanding how to make the difference worldwide.
Okay, so you've been in this area for some time. Would you tell us a little bit about this project, Agriculture 2.0? 2.0,
Good,
right?
Your Italian is quite good, Fernando. Allora, well, let's say that at the beginning, 2.0 is the shift between analogic and digital. We knew that natural ecosystems, out of soil ecosystem, can make the difference. Hydroponics itself, it's a laboratory, and you don't want to contaminate the ambient. When you use iticulture to hydroponics, you create a natural ecosystem that has the nitrogenous cycle, as in nature. 8,000 years ago, in Babylon city, they would do aquaponics. They would farm the
Really?
fish. It's quite easy. Yeah. The difference is that today we do have engineering. So we have technology, and we are very picky about materials. We always use things that can have a food contact. We avoid microplastic. And today also, if you purchase fish, inside you have mercury, plastics, and things like that. And we are willing to produce things, as we do, that are natural, that don't have treatments, and they are pure. Let's say that for us, longevity is a lifestyle, and eating habits are very important. Food is tradition coming from our education that parents gave us. The first tastes in neuroscience we had after our mother milk are the one that constituted our taste and what we like. So, in our head, we think to decide, we think we are aware of the decision, but our subconscious decided 7 seconds before we got aware of that decision. So if we want to change our habits and have a longevity as lifestyle, we need to program ourselves toward the changes. This is our project, the best vegetable out of biodiversity, because today, in order to have food sovereignty, we need to choose the seed. Today, when we enter the grocery store, we think that we are deciding what to eat. In reality, the table that decided which vegetable we'll eat is a table with the nursery that grows the seed, lawyers, the big distribution players, the farmer that will grow the little plant to the one that will be sold to the big distribution. So it's a technical table with lawyers that decides what we eat. We want to change this paradigm.
Yeah, I'm laughing out loud because I am a marketing professor, and I always have fun with my students, asking them, "Do you choose your what you buy, what you're wearing, or what you eat?" And they are all convinced they do. And then they go to learn how to convince people to make the choices they want them to make. Well, okay, I'm out of the subject. Let me get back to EU funded projects. This project you're running, is it supported by some EU program?
We have been, we did receive grants. We received grants from the PTP Science Park for the incubation. We got little finance from Phil Lombard at the beginning. Then we had an European Union grant at the UIA program, Innovative Action. And the main partner was the Milano municipality, and we were a partner project in infrastructure.
So you've been dealing with EU funded projects for some time.
Yes.
My question is, how is that experience been? Are you happy? Would you change something in this process?
Well, let's say that the EU competition are very tough. And when you do an horizon, 1-3% of the project gets financed. The threshold is 13. We got 12.65 out of 13. And even who has 13.75 doesn't get money. And either the seal of excellence. And either who gets the seal of excellence doesn't find investors sometimes. So let's say that the EU competition is quite tough. And yes, I would like to change. Of course, I would like to change something. I'm Italian, and our project leverage to change the agricultural market, the habits, a blue ocean. So of course that I would make changes to the way I saw that European grants are erogated and used.
Okay. So will that keep you from running for other applications for other grants in the future, or are you determined to keep going against that tough competition?
Well, we love competition. We apply, and we are building. We are working to build a consortium in order to be able to be more powerful with other partners. And we are seeking a company because it's kind of expensive to find somebody that is very good to write grants in the European Union. So we are trying to seek the company that will be in the consortium. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper at the beginning, at least.
Yeah, I see. But okay, you're not turned off from this process. I can see that. So, what are your plans for the near future? Are you going to develop this project in what way? What are your plans?
So after 10 years of experience, we decided to follow and pursue parallel ways to the same goal. So we are following every path it's possible to follow. So we are doing grants. We have paying users that enable us to survive and to go on with the project and to develop technology also, because we have a kind of weird strategy on IP where we are selling pieces of technology we need in order to gain cash flow. And we are in a round financing. So we have an investor in this moment on our industrial plan. We discovered that financial analysis on numbers of the financial plan and reclassification of the balance sheet and the patrimonial status are very important to show to investors who we are and how we intend to do things. And we are lucky we found a board advisor that is helping us to pitch in the investor language. I do speak Italian, English, French, and now I'm learning the financial language of investors. So before to start this interview, I was looking at a nice video on YouTube, with the investors pitching their experience with startups. That's kind of good to understand what to do and what to avoid. And I would say that the financial analysis exam is quite important for an industrial plan.
Yeah, I understand what you say about learning a new language. It really is a special language. But let me try to understand a little bit better your plan. You want to become a major supplier of food, or you want to start a movement and sell technology solutions to change agriculture in Europe? uh, or in the world, actually? What's your plan? Or both?
Thank you, Fernando, for this question. Well, a leader must give an example doing things first. So even if we want to sell technology, things that we already do, but to scale and to become, let's say, to have a 1 billion quotation as pre-money, we need to have a working ecosystem and to prove the difference, and that you can have the best technology, but if you're not able to sell it, it's kind of hard that you will have the line outside of your office having people seeking for your technology. So we are looking forward to create our first 10,000 square meter ecosystem, apply the Blue Ocean strategy that we understood is possible in the market, because we have demand from customer unattended as offer. And in that moment, we will show that epigenetic, functional medicine, regenerative nutrition are based on the best vegetable you can find. We have patents. We can produce vegetable with the highest nutrients in the market. That's not only a good things for your health. We have customer, when they taste our vegetables, they have something we call the wow effect. We go in a pub, they do pizza in Italy. Pizza is made with tomato and basil. And the pizza man smells basil every day since ever. When they see our basil, they are like, Davide, this basil seems mint, So even once we had the customer in our greenhouse picking up a green tomato that I would never picked and never eaten. He was like, wow, this is so good, So we want to apply the overall marketing strategy and find customers that understand as early adopters that they want something more, not only for the decision of the biodiversity or the sustainability, but also the fact that they can find an infundable food and they can be sure about how has it been grown. Today, the organic certification is a process. So you can apply the certification, but if you have a vineyard at 1 kilometer, every time there is wind and they're applying chemicals, you have it on your organic food. No, sure, you don't. That's a lottery. So we want to enable customer not only for the blockchain data that will give them out of the water, nutrients, and air, but for a product certification.
So you're telling that I find your answer very, very interesting, because one of the problems that I am aware of is the decline in nutrients in the food we eat. I think we buy the best food we can, but in the end we get less nutrients than we did 100 years ago. I saw some statistics saying that one orange 100 years ago would have more nutrients than 6 orange today. And what you're saying is that with your process, your technology, you can reverse that decline in the quality of the food we eat. Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah, I read that article. we eat 8 oranges and we have the same amount of vitamin A than our grandfather eating 1 orange.
Whoa.
But that's not only the fact. The fact is that all the universities around the world studied and analyzed the land, the agricultural land, that is always the same. And they discovered that we have less nutrients, but up to 37% every 100 years. So you get less RDA, out of vegetables. So you are purchasing vegetables that has less and less nutrients. So it's kind of important to eat something that has nutrients and that has a product certification without harmful chemical for your body.
Okay, I see the potential of that
Thank you.
technology in that project. We have to close our interview. Would you like to end with some message, closing
Yes.
message?
Well, we are looking forward to find investors, and we promise to the customers that we will give them a better product. And if somebody wants to enter the farm and agricultural sector, we can help them. Today we are in the book sector, and we help customers to become farmers. So we are open to help.
Okay, very good. I like that idea, turning customers into farmers, somehow going back to the origins. Thank you very much for this interview. Let me tell the audience that your contacts will be in the podcast notes if anyone wants to get in touch with you. Thank you very much. Have a nice week.
Thank you, Fernando.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Are you working to prevent irregular migration? Are you looking for funding to run impactful awareness campaigns in key migration hotspots? The European Commission has just launched a new funding opportunity under the Asylum, Migration and Integration Fund, AMIF. Every year, thousands of people risk their lives attempting to reach Europe through irregular migration routes. Many are misled by false promises from smugglers. The EU is taking action to counter these narratives by funding targeted awareness campaigns that provide potential migrants with accurate information, legal migration pathways, and alternative economic opportunities. This call is open to NGOs and nonprofit organizations, universities and research institutions, international organizations, and public bodies from EU member states, except Denmark. For-profit organizations are not eligible as beneficiaries. Applicants must form a consortium of at least 3 partners from 3 different EU member states. This call focuses on campaigns targeting key migration routes and countries including Albania, Algeria, Bangladesh, Egypt, Iraq, Morocco, Nigeria, Pakistan, Senegal, Tunisia, and Turkey. Successful projects will implement awareness campaigns using social media, community engagement, education, and digital tools to counter smugglers' misinformation and highlight legal alternatives. Total budget, $10 million funding per project, between 1.25 million and 2.5 million. EU contribution, up to 90% of eligible costs. Call opens 19th of November 2024. Deadline, 1st April 2025, 17 CET. Grant agreement signed, October 2025. If your organization is ready to make an impact, don't miss this funding opportunity. Learn more and apply now at the EU Funding and Tenders portal.
InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles, is a weekly video podcast. Please subscribe to the Polixox newsletter to receive every podcast episode. And if you like receiving it, please press like in whatever platform you are watching or listening. Also, please share InnovEU and Polixox with anyone you feel will enjoy it. Credits, author and host Fernando C. Gaspar, music Hugo Gaspar, Lisbon, Portugal, 2024. Reach us by email or DM.